Could I thank Jim and Diane again for the detailed presentation? And obviously, it's frightening to think of this country again being facing the triple threat of war, disease and hunger, as you said earlier. And the reason we have you before our committee is to try to create a greater awareness among the public here in our own country in relation to this ongoing conflict that's now in its 4th year. And as my colleagues have said, unfortunately, we don't hear as much about this conflict on the international broadcast media as we should. And when you outlined very clearly that 24 million people out of a population of 30 million are in need of humanitarian assistance, the huge loss of life, and it's absolutely reprehensible, the actions of the Saudi-led coalition in blocking food and medicine getting to people who are starving and dying and suffering so much. It's absolutely reprehensible, so it is. And it's so disappointing to think that that Yemen continues to experience the world's worst humanitarian crisis, again in the 4th year of conflict. And you made the very valid point, both Jim and Dina, in regard to the Yemeni women and girls exposed to many risks, including gender-based violence, on top of the suffering already, to think that the girls and women are subjected to further gender-based violence as well. It's a huge indictment on the international community. And you, in the conclusion of your presentation, Mr. Clerk, and you asked that this committee would write to the Minister for Foreign Affairs in regard to the need for Ireland to continue to use its influence at every forum available to us, through the European Union, through the United Nations, to apply pressure on all parties to respect international humanitarian law. And also, with the approval of the committee, we'll also write to the Minister requesting an update on what diplomatic efforts we are pursuing with the Saudi authorities, particularly in regard to the blocking of products, of essential foodstuffs and essential medicines going through the port of Hudaida. And, of course, the full implementation of the Stockholm Agreement would be critical. We will ask the Taoiseach as well to seek that the embassy in Saudi Arabia would convene a meeting with the Saudi counterparts to raise all of these basic human rights issues and issues of such concern to people who are concerned about the lack of humanitarian assistance getting to the people in need. We've listened to many presentations at this committee, and I don't know in any country where there has been conflict or that, I don't know if there was ever as a high proportion of the population needing that humanitarian assistance, as we talk about 24 million people out of 30 needing that humanitarian assistance. We would be very glad to write to the Taoiseach Minister for Foreign Affairs and asking him to pursue through each forum that's available, the United Nations, European Union, and also through our diplomatic network, to continue to put on all the pressure we can to ensure that a peaceful resolution is found, because it's terrible to think that a country is facing what you put so well, the triple threat of war, disease and hunger. So I thank both of you for your detailed presentation, and to compliment the people who are working out there in very difficult circumstances, from your own organisation and from sister organisations